Hi kitties, welcome back to my channel. Thank you very much for being here. If you're new to my channel, make sure you subscribe and turn on your notification bell so that whenever I upload a new video, you get to watch. So in this tutorial today, I'm going to show you how to stitch this corset. I earlier on shared a tutorial on how to make the pattern for it, and I'll put the link in the description box below. So here we're going to start off with cutting out our fabric with our pattern. And as you can see on this pattern, I added ½ inch allowance on this cup area. And if you notice this side of the process that I didn't add any seam allowance to it. And at this upper part, I added ½ inch seam allowance for the hemming. Now the next thing I'm going to do is to cut out the cup area of our corset. And as you can see, I've cut this out like this, and I've added my seam allowance all around at the upper part of it. And at this area, I've added ½ inch seam allowance. Then for these areas, I've added ½ inch seam allowance, except for this area of the present seam. I didn't add any seam allowance on it as I already have it in my measurement. So here I'm going to be using a medium size padding for this lower part of my corset. I'm not going to be using the same size of padding, breast pad, for the upper part and lower part. So the lower part gets to be heavier and more dense than the upper part of the corset. As you can see, this is a lighter version of a breast pad, and that is the one I'm going to be putting on the upper part of my breast cup to create the balance I desire. So you go ahead and notch these areas to avoid confusion while joining it together. I've also cut out the back piece of my corset, and as you can see, at that area, I didn't add any seam allowance because I already have that in my measurement. And at the upper part, I added my seam allowance. So make sure that you cut out your interface as well. So here is the front piece, and we're going to start off with joining these lines together. You do the same for your interface. And this is how it's supposed to look when you are done stitching it together. Next, we are going to sew the breast cup. So I placed my breast padding like this, and I'm going to place the pieces wrong side of the fabric on this breast pad, and I'm going to stitch it all around with ¼ inch. And after sewing this, and I'm going to sew the upper part as well with ¼ inch all around to hold the breast pad to the fabric. Now that I'm done doing that, the next thing I'm going to do is to use ½ inch to stitch both breast cups together. After sewing this, you should have something like this. And the next thing you should consider is to shred off this excess area in order to create a relaxed look after stitching. Then the next thing you're going to do is to stitch the upper part of your breast cup onto the lower part, and you should have something like this after sewing. So make sure you also shred off this excess area after sewing it so that your bust will relax comfortably in your bust cup. The next thing you're going to do now is to sew the breast cup into the other part of your front piece. Then after doing this, make sure you're doing the same on your interface, and it should be like this. Then the next thing you're going to do is to shred off these excess fabrics from your interface as well. So going over to sewing the back piece, we are going to start off by joining that area together with ½ inch. Next, we'll go over to sewing in our zipper. You can use any kind of zipper you wish, and I'm going to sew an exposed zipper right now. As you can see at the lower part here, I left about ¾ inch right here for facing my lower fabric when I'm done sewing the zipper. So here, my zipper is already installed, and I'm going to go over to the next level. Next, you're going to join your corset by the side seam, and you're going to do the same for your interface as well. Next, you're going to lay your fabrics right side to each other, and with ½ inch, you're going to sew this area of your corset. I'm going to show you how to sew the zipper part later. Then the upper part, you're going to sew with ½ inch allowance as well. At the side seam of your interface is about 6 inches opening for turning your corset inside out. Now to explain further how to sew on your zipper. As you can see, when I sew in my zipper, I'm going to open it like this while sewing my interface. I'm going to place it like this, and I'm going to stitch ¼ inch away from the zip tooth all the way to the end. And I'm going to show you what it looks like after sewing it. So as you can see it, if you can see it, I've sewn it already, and I'm going to go ahead and slash off the excess zipper right here. Now, after sewing this, the next thing I'm going to do is to trim off the excesses and give necessary notches to this area. And from these 6 inches I left open here, I'm going to turn this inside out. And after doing that, this is what it looks like. You give it a good pressing, and then you can choose to top stitch yours at the lower or at the upper part, or both. It is left for you to decide. Then you're going to close this 6 inches space here. And once after sewing your zipper, this is what it's supposed to look like. So guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. Make sure you like and subscribe to my channel, share my videos, and stay tuned for my next tutorial. Take care of yourselves. Bye.